In this lesson, we're going to take a look at classes. We're going to be using C Sharp, and we'll do it in a Windows application. So go ahead and open up Visual Studio. Select C Sharp and Windows application. Okay, and you'll end up with just a basic form. You see the properties on the right hand side. First thing you should do is change the name of the form, and using the naming convention called FRM underscore first class. Also change the text property and change that as well to first class. And you'll note that in the top of the window, first class appears. Now we're going to make our form just a little bit wider, so in the size property, make it 500 by 300. Then open up your toolbox, get a label, and put a label on the form, somewhere around the top right. And again, first thing you should do is change the name of the label, and we're using the LBL prefix, in this case underscore output, because we're going to be showing output on that. Go to the font property, change the size to 12, so it's just a wee bit easier to see. And for the text, we're going to replace that with some stars or asterisks, just so we can see it on screen and we know that it's there. Now again, from the toolbox, look for the text box control and put a text box on the form. Drag it over again over to the left, somewhere underneath where the label is, and change its name using the prefix TXT and then underscore. We'll use this text box later for some input. We're going to use some command buttons, so select the command button and drop one on the form. Command buttons, we're going to use the prefix BTN. So change that one to BTN underscore struct. For the text property, change it to click for structure. And we're going to come over and use a standard size for our buttons, which will be 100 pixels by 30 pixels. Now, just to make things handy, rather than draw a new button, copy and paste the click for structure button. Change its name to BTN underscore class, and its text to click for class. That's very handy if you've got a whole lot of properties that you've changed on a button, and rather than have to do them all over again, you can copy one that you've already done. So that is our basic layout completed. You go now, right click on form1.cs and view code. It'll take you into this code section, and it's in here now where we're going to declare what's called a structure. Our structure is going to be called person. The contents of a structure are again created inside open and closing braces. In our structure, we're going to have an integer called age and a string called name. So in a sense, we defined our own data type here now. Our data type is called person and includes two subtypes, an integer and a string. In order that we can access that from anywhere in our application, I've made the structure public. Now directly underneath that, and still outside any of the other methods, in other words, where we can create global variables, I'm going to create a variable called employee of type person. Go back to the form, double click on the form to get the form's load event. And I'm now going to initialize employee. So employee is equal to a new person. I would like then to set the age element of employee, and you see as I type employee followed by the full stop, it gives me all the properties that I can change. Neither age nor name, as you can see, are in there. So if I go back up to my structure and put the keyword public in front of them, it means then that they can be accessed from outside of the structure. So if I try that again, employee dot, and you can see now there that age does exist. I will set that equal to 27. We'll put a initial value in the name field, and we'll set the name field equal to George. If we go back to the form design now, double click on the click for structure button to give me a method for the click event for that button. And the code that I want to run whenever that button is clicked will display information on the label that we used earlier, that we set up earlier. It was called LBL output, and we want to change this text property. So LBL output dot text will be equal to, and we're going to build up a string here now. So inside quotes, employee name is, we want to close those quotes. We want to add on to that string the contents of employee.name. We then want to add on further to that string, and that's another piece of text. So we open up the quotes, take a space, type in aged, space, close the quotes again, then add on to that employee.age, semicolon. That ends our string. If we go now and run that program and click the structure button, you can see here that employee name is George, age is 27. And it's taking that information directly from the properties of a person, in this case here, the one called employee.